the biggest fumble in gaming history had just occurred a couple days ago, and that fumble was called Multiversus. I don't understand. It is mind-boggling how Warner Brothers had screwed up a game that had so much potential. And when it comes to the platform fighters in this genre itself, Nintendo had pretty much dominated the space. It's a very competitive space, and there wasn't a lot of IPs that were out there that was able to contend with them when it comes to that. And what Nintendo has done when it comes to the platform fighter, it had awakened, it had opened the eyes to many developers and legacy corporations of what they can do with this genre, is to use this platform fighter genre as a way to market their IPs. Nintendo has done a really good job. Nintendo has a bunch of familiar characters that people have known throughout gaming culture and just pop culture history in general. Have fun with your friends. Go into competitive tournaments at your locals. What it has also done, it was a way to market other franchises that many people wasn't familiar with. Perfect example, Fire Emblem, when the introduction of Martham Roy was introduced in Super Smash Bros. Melee. And now Fire Emblem itself, it has become a juggernaut of an IP for Nintendo. So can you imagine what is going through a lot of developers' heads, especially corporations, mega corporations' heads, when it comes to wanting to sell their IPs to a wider audience? Why not make a platform fighter? And not even just Warner Bros. Nickelodeon has done it, and Nickelodeon had potential, and they failed at that too. But then you have Warner Brothers. And the fact is that when Warner Bros. Was rumored to have their own Super Smash Brothers, at first I couldn't see it at first. But the idea started to click when I started to realize that, hey, Warner Brothers owns Cartoon Network and they own DC Comics. So I was thinking more along the lines that we would probably see some Cartoon Network characters and DC comic characters. But lo and behold, once the trailer had officially came out, we weren't just getting that. We were also going to get live action television series, live action movie IPs. There were also going to be characters implemented into Multiversus. Now, this had pretty much made sky's the limit. It had opened up and unlocked so much potential of what they can draw from. And I can argue that Warner Bros. Have even more recognizable characters than Nintendo themselves because of the many IPs that Warner Bros. Had. Now that you're opening up the floodgates to allow live actions like Matrix or Harry Potter or also Lord of the Rings into the mix, and then we had Game of Thrones, and the fact is that they had a actual art style to allow these live action characters to stand alongside characters like Bugs Bunny or maybe the Powerpuff Girls and even Batman themselves. And after seeing that, I said, hey, these guys may be onto something, and I was super excited for this. I really was, especially after seeing the announcement trailer for this game. And once they finally showed it off and we saw the unique art style and that it also had some similarities to Super Smash Bros., but they wanted to add their own little unique twist or spin to it by making it focus more on team 2v2 gameplay. But they gave it a chance, and it was something very different from what Super Smash Bros. Was doing. But to be honest with you, the thing that really turned me away, or maybe starting to feel a little bit sketchy or nervous for the life support of Multiversus, was the fact is that after they made the announcement, they also let us know that this game won't be like Super Smash Bros. Where you go and you make a purchase of the game and you own a physical copy of it. No, this game is going to be a free-to-play game. And every time I hear free-to-play, and every time I think about live service games, my negativity just shoots through the roof. And that was the thing that got me nervous, because I said, okay, this game's going to be free to play, which means I won't have any real ownership over this game whatsoever. That means if I'm going to spend time, money, and investment in this game, there could be a possibility that this game could fail. And if the game could fail, that means all that money and all that investment that I put into this game, that time, that grinding, that hard work, is going to be for nothing. And that's what I already had in my head. And I had a chance to be able to play in the beta for the game as well. And you guys played it with me on my live stream. I was able to play it with my brothers, and I enjoyed what the game had to offer. Now, I did have my gripes with it. The game felt kind of floaty. The hitbox detections was kind of janky and everything. And the game still needed a bit more polish, a bit more work. But I enjoyed what I played. And me, I was a Wonder Woman main in the game, because I love me some Wonder Woman. I love characters with sword and shields anyway. So that was my character. And then Garnet surprisingly became my secondary character, which I really enjoyed, and I played with my brothers as well. But I did see that this game still needed a bit more polish. It was a beta, so they needed to get that feedback. So after the success of the beta, they decided to go offline. Now, many people couldn't, people spent money in the beta itself. They go offline, so there's not much they can do. A lot of people bought founders packs and everything like that. And now we have to wait an entire year. And they had an entire year to improve on the game itself. They had an entire year to improve on that. And lo and behold, 2024, the game now officially launches, and many people are excited for it. But for some strange reason, for me, I decided to say, you know what? I'm going to sit back on this and wait and see how this play out. That's why I didn't bother to even install the game, because I wanted to see what they have improved on and what they have fixed. And lo and behold, server issues, the rollback netcode sucks, and the game is way slower than the beta. A lot of key features that made the game fun in the beta was now not in the official release. So now they're screwing it up. And I'm saying to myself, what happened? They had an entire year to fix this, and now all of a sudden, nothing was changed. In fact, it got worse. So I'm already saying to myself that I don't know about this. I said I'm gonna be really upset if Warner Brothers screw this up. If somehow this game happens to die, I'm going to be so disappointed in this. I think this is going to be one of the biggest disappointments I ever had as far as a game is concerned, because of the amount of potential that this game has. The amount of potential that this game has. And now we fast forward to this very point and this very moment here. After the feedback that the players has been leaving, from the community have been leaving, after the characters that they have been releasing that people were looking forward to, hell, Raven was almost about to get me to just say, you know what, hell with it, I'm going to install the game and play it. But right before then, as the cracks start to sink in a bit more, and we starting to see professional players voice their opinions, and we starting to see more and more videos saying that, is this it for Multiversus? And you had some people who had high hope and said, no, they can turn this around. They can change this thing. Especially after the fact that they started adding shields to the game. Something, in my personal opinion, I thought they should have added to begin with. Similar to Super Smash Brothers. And I understand they would have tried something different from Super Smash Brothers. But if it works for Smash Brothers and it's a working formula, just use it. But then you can still add your own unique identity to your game and to your formula. But they refuse to do that. So then now we fast forward to this week, and now the game is officially going to end with Season 5. And many fans who have spent time and investment with this game are upset. And as you can see, a lot of the comments, everybody's talking about how they wasted their money. They felt like they were scammed, and they leave pretty much a lengthy note talking about the fate of this game. So let's go through it. It says, "Hi everyone, we have an important update to share regarding Multiversus. After careful consideration, our next season will serve as the final seasonal content update for the game. Multiversus Season 5 will begin on February 4th, 2025 and run through May 30th, 2025, adding 2 new playable characters to the roster, DC's Aquaman and Looney Tunes' Lola Bunny. All the new Season 5 content, including Aquaman and Lola Bunny, will be earnable through gameplay. Both new characters will be accessible when Season 5 begins on February 4th at 9 a.m. PST. Aquaman via the Battle Pass as the first tier reward, and Lola as the daily calendar login reward. All online features will continue to be available until Season 5 concludes on May 30th at 9 a.m. PST. At that point, there will be an option to play Multiversus offline via the local gameplay mode, either solo against AI opponents or with up to 3 friends. To do this, you'll need to install and download the latest version of the game and log in during Season 5 anytime between February 4th at 9 a.m. PST and May 30th, 9 a.m. PST. After logging in, a local save file will be automatically created connected to your PlayStation Network, Microsoft Store, Steam, or Epic Games Store account, allowing you to enjoy the game offline with all earned and purchased content moving forward. So I may even install it just to have it, to be able to play it offline and stuff with friends or something like that. And then it says, as of today, January 31st, real money transactions will no longer be available for Multiversus, which means you can no longer purchase Gleamium, but you can still use remaining Gleamium or character tokens to access in-game content until Season 5 ends on May 30th. Additionally, when Season 5 finishes, the game will no longer be available to download in the PlayStation Store, Microsoft Store, Steam, and Epic Games Store. Most importantly, we thank every player and person who have ever played or supported Multiversus. And this is sad, man. This is really, really sad. And then we also have in the IGN article where they talked about how the devs was receiving threats to harm following the shutdown announcements. I'm not sure if they provide tweets or receipts about them being threatened and stuff like that. But if people are doing that, don't do that. I mean, it's just a video game, is whatever. I understand you spent money on it, but to threaten developers' life over a game like this, it's not worth it. And it just justify these game journalists and the game industry itself to attack us gamers. So don't do that. Don't do that. But it goes to show, man, what's been going on with Warner Brothers games in general. We've seen what they've done with Suicide Squad and how they failed with that. And a total restructuring needs to be done, and in order for them to be able to improve with this company. But the developer himself had pretty much wanted to apologize and pretty much just tell the community that there was a lot of things that was involved behind closed doors, when it comes to development of this game. Also, just basic question of the future of just live service games. Like, when things like this happen, all it does, it dampers and it muddies the waters when it comes to future live service games. This is another reason why I didn't want to invest in this, because I had a strange feeling that they were going to screw this up big time. And I'm glad I didn't spend any money. I'm glad I didn't put a lot of time into this, because I was going to make content at one point before the game was announced to be a live service game. But after seeing all this, I was very skeptical of it, and I decided against making content for this, because of situations like this. Because now people's going to look at Multiversus, which is from Warner Brothers, that had legacy IPs, and if they can screw up, what's to stop any other company that's not familiar or doesn't have a legacy like Warner Brothers or Nintendo, who would come in and pitch a live service game? What does that say? Will people be able to trust more live service games, especially after that? Especially after people who played this game? My question is, will they even invest in other future live service games that are going to be announced in the near future? But as I said before, this is one of the biggest fumbles. Sad disappointment. There were so many characters that I wanted to see make it into the game, and we'll never get a chance to see any of those characters because of the incompetency of Warner Brothers, and also the incompetency of Player First Games and how they handled these IPs when it comes to Multiversus itself, when it comes to its monetization, and its overall, after having an entire year of working on this game and still fail to produce something that would draw gamers in to really, really enjoy. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below. What do you think about all this when it comes to Multiversus? Is this a disappointment for you? Will you still continue to play it even after it goes offline? I mean, you can still play it locally. What are your thoughts on that? This is sad to see. I thought we finally had a contender that can, take the spotlight or be in the forefront while Smash is on a hiatus, and that didn't happen. Nickelodeon failed at it, and now Warner Brothers failed at it. So definitely your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe button for more gaming content here on this channel. This is Mugen Lord signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.